Hello everyone, and here is our first video of our set of videos from with the new stuff updates for update 33. And I'm going to start off with my main one, which is usually the one that people are most curious about, which is my main, the one that I try to do the most DPS with, which is the Magblade. Alright, so let's go on in here and let me show you what I've got going on. Now, as I mentioned in the last video, he's really become the elemental blade. And the elemental blade means that now I have 3 setups for 3 different situations. Go to my armor over here. All right, I've got the Fire Blade, the Frost Blade, and the Shock Blade. All right, 3 different setups for different situations. The Fire Blade is the tried and true, the one that I've been using all along with a single target damage because it uses fire stats. The Frost Blade is my second one that uses frost stats, and it's actually using a similar setup to my Frostagon build. A little bit tankier, good for like arena builds, arenas and such, and soloing. And then there's the Shock Blade, which is all designed for PvP, specifically like CP PvP, and it's a lot of fun. It's also a heavy attack build, which is easy on the hands. Actually, it does really well over overland and in dungeons as well, especially for a lot of mobs. So that's what we're looking at. So let's look at the Fire Blade first. Let's equip this build. All right, we are all set. Let's see what we have going on in this. All right, very similar to what we've had in the past. All right. For gear, I am using Kajalnar's mask, so it's a medium with the medium shoulders. Medium because we get a little bit of the medium buff from the armor now. Our Bosse's got a little bit of a nerf. If you look at the percentage there in the 5 items, the last 5 items, increase your damage done to non-player enemies up to 12% based on your missing magicka. It was originally 15, so it came down a little, but it's still very good. And I was kind of trying to thinking, is there any other sets that I could use? And really, you know, outside of maybe just putting on Mother Sorrow or something like that, this is still one of the best things you could have on it. And I like having a 5-piece set, a 2, the full monster set, and then I'm using Kinra's there, where dealing damage with a light or heavy attack grants you a stack burning heart for 5 seconds, up to 5 stacks. While you have 5 stacks, you generate an Aura of Wrath, granting you a major berserk, increasing the damage done by 10%. While you have the Aura of Wrath, your allies within 12 meters gain minor berserk, increasing their damage done by 5%. So I have that on my for my jewelry and staff with a Maelstrom Perfected Inferno on the back, infused with a fire enchant, precise on the front with a poison enchant, so we get a little bit of poison to help us out a little bit. But again, a 5-piece with a 5-piece with a 2. I had been, by the end of update 32, I had like the I had the kilt on there with the different shoulders, and so it was just getting kind of complicated, and well, I wasn't having as much fun with it because I like what a monster set could bring to it. Was I doing a little bit more damage? Yeah, but not enough to make a big difference. I hadn't parsed for a while with this build, but I parsed just the other night so that I'd have some numbers for you. And if you look at here, I parsed 86K, with, not the most meta of meta, things. And I didn't, really work on it too much. And I used everything that I use on my bar right now. This is not anything that I add different things to the bar to make my parse numbers go up. Which I've done in the past and everything. This was like, okay, here are the skills that I use. Here's the setup. Here's the food. Here's all the stuff. Let's see what I parse. And so with that 86K, I love it. I think it's really good. And like I said, I'm not the best parser in the world, so for me to be able to come up with that with just a few times of getting back into it works out really, really good. And if you want, I'll kind of give you this page as well, so that you can freeze it and see what I'm using for my CP. I'm using Fighting Fitness, Deadly Aim, Thaumaturge, and Master of Arms, and see what I've got in the others. And all of the stuff that's going on in here. Actually, parse pretty good. I didn't miss a lot of stuff. I don't actually give myself, one of the things I did notice is that my crit isn't at the cap of 125 with this setup, because I'm not using like Medusas like I used to use. That would give me a little 10% more, and I wasn't using, I don't think I was using Backstabber. No, I wasn't using Backstabber, wasn't I? Was I using that? No, just a little regular Fighting Finesse. Backstabber, if I swap that out for Fighting Finesse, it's 5% more, crit damage, so that would have gone up to like, 119, or, all these little things that we could have done to add it. But again, I kind of want, I'm seeing, at least for myself, that the parse numbers never translate into raid numbers, what I'm actually doing in the raid. In there. So my goal, I think, for this year is to try to get better in the live situations more than just the parsing. I know I can parse pretty good. I'm not in the 100K club or anything, but it's good enough to be able to do stuff, of course. And like I said, this is my main, more try-hardy setup. And so that's what I do. Let's see. What else do I need to tell you? So we've done all that stuff. Of course, our 64 in the Magicka there. Do I have food on? No. Let's eat a little bit of food. That's just regular hold on. Just the blue food, the Solitude 7 millet soup with that. Whoops. Boom. So, my Magicka is at 33k, health is at 25k, stamina at 13, recovery is at 821, spell damage is at 3747, good amount of crit in there. I am using the Thief Mundus with all of my stuff. Yeah, so as far as those kind of things, that hasn't changed too much than what I was running before. For skills, always kind of a big thing, I'm using Structured Entropy. I love getting the health back. There might be something else that might work a little bit better. Maybe even certain situations using the orb, the Undaunted orb, but that works good for me. I like that, especially when I'm by myself. Swallow Soul, can't beat it. You like it. Merciless Resolve, really good. Our Impale, of course. And then this is the one that I've kind of swapped out for Inner Light. It's Camouflage Hunter. It gives me something in the Fighters Guild, so I'm able to get the the Fighters Guild bonuses in here for having a skill, and you can look through those. So I swapped that out actually on both bars, because I used to have Inner Light on both bars. Could you add something in there for a flex spot of something? Yeah, of course, in there. I like doing it on there. Again, this is a personal preference for me, because for some reason, I can really do great keeping track of the first 4 buttons. When I get to button number 5, it gets complicated for me. So I remember when I was really going hard at the parses in there, I had different stuff in there, and it gave me some more stuff, but man, it was tough to keep track of. So I'm able to keep this up a lot easier by having something that's just there for the slotting. I don't really use it for the to expose stealth targets or anything. If you're not familiar with Camouflage Hunter, all right, it's the third one here in the Fighters Guild, which allows for you to use some of the stuff in here that helps you out with ultimate, helps you out with additional damage, and the skill itself. Well, while slotted, you gain major savagery and prophecy, increasing your weapon or spell crit rating. You also get minor berserk for 5 seconds after dealing crit damage from an enemy's flank. So you always want to kind of be to the side if you're in a group with that. And then lastly, I use Incapacity Strike which restores some magicka back, but it also does some disease damage and gives us 20% more damage as well while that's up. So usually what I try to do in a parse is make sure my Merciless Resolve is at its 5 stacks there, hit that, and then pop that, and I do a really good chunk of damage. Back bar with our Maelstrom Inferno. You've got the Unstable Wall of Fire, which is wonderful, our Twisting Path, our Siphoning Attack, our Dark Shade, again back in our Camouflage Hunter, and then our Fiery Rage. So we've got our big AoE flame damage going on there. So yeah. So let's see. Anything else with that has changed? That and that. I kind of covered the CP on the other thing, but again, if you're looking at it, if you want to just see it on the chart itself, you've got Fighting Finesse, which is right there. You've got Deadly Aim, that's over here. You've got Thaumaturge, which is up there, and you've got your Master of Arms up there. I have all of the passives in there. Plus, I also have, if you remember, because of the poison, I have the martial status in there going into Maty, so that because this affects physical poison and disease, just gives us a little bit of extra. So everything else, all of these things, all the passives, as much as you can do with whatever numbers that you have for CP in there. And even if you're not maxing it out, having a few points into each, just so that you have each one of those bubbles, is going to do you a lot of good. Yeah, and then nothing really special, too much in the fitness one, the Boundless Vitality, Fortified, Rejuvenation. The big one that I like here, the Siphoning Spells. Actually, I don't have Rejuvenation there. I take that back. It's Boundless Vitality, Fortified, Spirit Mastery for resing an ally much quicker, and then Siphoning Spells. That's kind of a big one because anytime you kill an enemy, you're going to get magicka back, and so that helps you with your sustain, and then points into all the passives. So, yeah. So CP, we got all the equip stuff. We talked about all the food, talked about all the stuff. So a lot of similar things to what you had in the past in there. But like I said, I just kind of made it a little bit simple in there. I mean, these are very difficult, items to get, of course, in there. But as far as keeping it as a 2-5-5 setup, much better than trying to break up the pieces and doing different things and having a certain ring on or something. I think I was getting a little carried away with it. And even though it was maybe getting me some more stuff, it wasn't getting me much more. I think I was a little bit over 90K when I had the other stuff on, and I definitely wasn't doing 90K when I was in a trial. So yeah. All right. So there is your Fire Blade. So it's the first one of our series in here. Next, I'm going to do the Frost Blade and show you the different things that I do with that. So thank you everybody for watching. Glad to be back making these. Glad to have time to make these, and also really happy with the changes with Update 33. It's been a lot of fun to explore all these different stuff. So thank you everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.